Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Hey, today is Wednesday, March 8th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio, 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and other social media by searching Larry Steinhouse. Just a reminder, if you're watching the show online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. Of course, you can also comment live during the show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And please say hi so I know you're watching. Real quick, I'm going to say hi to the people who just said hi. Hey, I want to say hello to Rob, and I want to say hello to Dan. Thanks, guys. I totally appreciate you guys. By the way, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page, your name may not show up on my dashboard, so please go to Money Chat Now page and comment there so I can recognize you and say hello. Hey, Mick. Hey, Joe. Thanks so much. Money Chat Now, of course, is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock option trading from those who do it every day. And that's tomorrow, so make sure you go. All right, on today's show, we're going to be discussing the futures update. We're going to be talking about the fact that Putin is a bully. We're going to be talking about McDonald's closing in Russia and some other companies. We're going to be talking about the new Apple products and Bitcoin regulations. All right, let's go. Let's get into this right now and talk about what's going on. Real quick, hey, before I just looked and saw a whole bunch of people coming online. Charles and Carrie and Tom and Michael. Thanks, guys. All right, today was a day that went from Yahoo to WTF. I don't know. The market kind of opened soft, and then it shot up over 500 points on the news that Biden was going to stop importing oil from Russia. You know, you would think that would make oil prices pop. However, the market mostly factored this in already. So although oil finished about 125, it had still not broken the 130 mark a few days ago. So sometimes what happens, you need to understand that sometimes what happens is people will, the market will react to the rumor of something happened, and that's what drove the prices up earlier. And then when it actually happened, it didn't matter much. So it seems like the money managers were taking whatever scraps they could, and they, and they basically sold off smaller than usual profits just to show any profit at all. And that's kind of what happened to the market yesterday. I think about that sometimes, and sometimes I do it, and most of the time I wish I had done just that. You know, my big play right now is in American Airlines, and it makes my account swing wildly lately as the airlines are bouncing with some serious turbulence. All right, American was up yesterday, but first it dropped to a crazy 12.5. If you bought it at 12.5, you did really well. I still think it's going to be a great play, but it's really super scary. I will either make a nice profit or my account will close and go to zero, and I'll have to sell my jacket and maybe, afford the gas. Anyway, with all the stock I currently have, it's a lot. So TripAdvisor was the big winner of the day when it closed about 12% higher. So it looks like the money managers are going back into the travel stocks after dumping them this month over the concerns of market conditions that may happen with war and the price of oil. The crazy volatility is certainly going to continue, and honestly, it's on cue. If it's on cue, it'll stop the end of sometime next week. We have 3 events that are going to cause a bump, and then the market will rebound. Each of the events will happen separately, so watch for them. The first and most important one will be the raising of interest rates this month. It's going to happen. Either the end of the month or early April, expect a quarter point raise, and as long as it isn't a half a point, the market will be a quick hit and rise. If it's a half a point, the market will rise, but it'll take a 2 or 3 day crash to start it back up again. So watch for it. The investors will simply forget about it and start buying again. That's what they do. So don't think that it's anything different. That's what they do. All right. The other day, the other major event that will be the end of the war, and I do have to say that it will end shortly. And the question is, will it end purposely or will it end tragically with a turn in the government of either Ukraine or Russia? We will see Ukraine in NATO. Will we see Ukraine in NATO in the future? We might, right? It may happen if the country can hold out long enough. The last will be the ending of the stupid and useless mask and vaccine mandates. Yes, YouTube censors, I said stupid and useless mask vaccine mandates. Go ahead, cancel my channel again. I seriously just don't care anymore. All right, when those things end, when the useless vaccine and mask mandates end, the travel industry will start to show a comeback. Of course, the only thing that will damage the industry will be inflation and the lack of funds the American tourists will have to use for travel. But anyway, watch for these events and watch for the reaction of Wall Street. And right now, it's a good day. Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 487 points, the S&P is up 68, and the NASDAQ is up 269. I'm really happy to see that. All right, real quick. Hey, let's say hello to Victor out there and Jill, and I'm not sure who the other person is, but there we go. All right, let's talk about what's happening next. I'm going to talk about Putin being a bully. I remember when I was a kid and the bullies in school would pick on me. I tolerated it until one day I decided to no longer tolerate it or care what happened to me. I remember sitting in the cafeteria. I was eating my lunch and I was talking to friends when I noticed the cafeteria bully was throwing peas at me. You know, at first I would feel the pea hit me and then I would look over and not see where it came from. And it happened again and again and again. Finally, I looked up and saw him do it. This guy was one of those kids you just didn't mess with. But I never actually saw him in a fight or actually ever saw him get caught. It was just assumed that he would kick your butt, you know, if you tried to defend yourself. Well, pea after pea, I got angrier and angrier. Finally, as my blood started to boil, I got up, took my chocolate milk, went over to him, and poured the 8-ounce container over his head. Well, he stood up, ready to go, but something in the look in my eye told him to back down, and he did. He never bothered me again. In fact, when we walked down the halls and passed each other, he would actually nod at me as to say hi. Apparently, this is now the story with Vladimir Putin. We as Americans and the rest of the world were scared of this guy. We really were. He sat there basically right in the Kremlin, and he felt that he ruled the world. In fact, he recently joined up with the crazy guy in China, President Xi, and declared that they were the only superpower in the world and the rest of the world was weak. Now, there may be some truth to the rest of the world being weak because the rest of the world is more concerned about what gender we are instead of what army we're building. But as Putin is learning, he's losing his title as ruler, and now he's becoming just a brat that was a bully a few weeks ago. Who would have thought Ukraine would have defended themselves the way they have? Look, I do realize that Ukraine is probably losing as Russia attacks their land, and Ukraine cannot attack Russia. But the strength of the Ukrainian people and the strength of the president of Ukraine, and he's showing this self-proclaimed king of the world that he's just a bully, and he didn't expect a fight from a worthy opponent. He is not only losing his support in his own country, as we've seen through riots and protests in Russia, he's also losing every country, except for, of course, China so far, against him. He's putting them all against him. He's acting like a terrorist instead of a diplomat. Putin has wanted to weaken the West and weaken NATO. However, this invasion of Russia's neighbor, is actually doing the opposite. It looks like the countries of NATO are actually making their alliance stronger as they look to have Putin removed from office or hopefully removed from this planet. We know that NATO cannot go into Ukraine and help because it would likely start World War III. However, as we watch this event, we may see Putin accomplish the exact opposite of what he is trying to do, or at least what we were perceiving he was trying to do. Remember that Putin's goal was to keep Ukraine out of NATO. And that may be a little difficult after all of this, right? The world will be mourning for thousands of Ukrainians who died, and their anger will push NATO countries to get involved in any way they can. We're also now seeing Poland offering planes to Ukraine. However, that will be with the stipulation that the United States replace those planes with more modern planes, so Poland will get more modern planes. And, you know, at first sight, many of us thought this war wouldn't happen, and then we thought it'd be over quickly. And soon, you know, we thought that Russia would own Ukraine as they surrendered. Look, I see that as a short-term ending, but when the page changes in the next chapter, we're going to see other countries and ourselves getting together. The Ukraine will be stronger, and Russia will actually be weaker. Not necessarily weaker in their defense, but weaker in their leadership. Unless something big changes, and that, my friends, by the way, could be really scary. And in fact, if Russia is holding back and they unleash itself in full force against Ukraine, Ooh, it'll be really bad. The Ukrainians in the world will feel that pain. Look, let's hope that the scenario never plays out. I want to talk about real quick about McDonald's closing in Russia. Hey, after that story, I want to mention that several companies are boycotting Russia from inside Russia. Pepsi-Cola, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's and Starbucks each say they're suspending business in Russia. This move actually was made when several critics called out the companies after other U.S. companies announced suspensions and paused sales. There are currently over 300 companies that are refusing to do business with Russia. Many are financial companies, including one that surprised me, which was Coinbase. It actually surprised me that they refused to do business with Russia. Not that they wouldn't be on Ukraine's side, but it's kind of weird that they're regulating unregulated stuff. Think about it, right? Crypto. All right. On the other hand, some of the companies that are still doing business in Russia surprised me, and they include hotel chains like Marriott, Hilton, and Hyatt, and some material and heavy equipment companies like Caterpillar, 3M, and Whirlpool are still doing business there. You can look up the full list and review it by searching companies doing business in Russia. The list actually was compiled by a professor at Yale, so it must be true. Yeah, whatever. But at the same time, I believe it is. Either way, we'll see less and less companies doing business with Russia as a statement of solidarity with the people of Ukraine having their lives destroyed by what appears to be a madman, right? Just a thought, however, if Russia no longer has access to Facebook, think about this, right? If Russia no longer has access to Facebook, they no longer have access to CNN, MSNBC, if they no longer have access to junk food like McDonald's and garbage sugary drinks, they may actually become the strongest and most well-informed people on the planet. That could be scary. Hey, I'm going to take a break so I can eat my McMuffin and continue to be a weak American. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, thanks for listening on WWDB Radio, 860 AM in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn more about how to make more money, right? Hit that like button. Let me know you enjoy the show. Hey, I want to say hello to Lou and also I want to say hello to Moshe. And you guys hit that share button, will you? Hit that share button so other people can enjoy the show. You can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and I will try to respond to them live, as I have. All right. So, let's talk about the next topic. So far, of course, we've been discussing the future updates, and right now, the futures are up 495. The Dow is up 495. S&P is up 67. The NASDAQ is up 268. We talked about the fact that Putin is a bully, and we talked about the fact that McDonald's is closed in Russia. Take a look at that. All right, we also we're going to be talking about, coming up, new Apple products and Bitcoin regulations. And, of course, we're going to be talking about today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that like button yet? Did you hit that share button? Come on, share it. Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure to set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, when you get home, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook and let me know what you think of the show. By the way, real quick, hey, I've been telling you about a great event we're going to be hosting at the Washington Crossing Inn in Bucks County. It's a Finances and Freedom event. Along with myself, we have the outspoken Bill Spadia as a keynote speaker, and we just added to the itinerary a man that everyone should respect. He is Doug Mastriano, and he will be a keynote speaker, and Doug's story will mesmerize you, and he's a leading contender in the governor's race for Pennsylvania. You're going to want to be there because it's going to be amazing. Go to 4mmw.com, 4mmw.com, and register for this event before the price increases. That's April 24th, 4mmw.com. And it's going to sell out fast, so I'm telling you, go there. All right, let's get into the second half. Let's talk about some new Apple products. So Apple just wrapped up its first product event of the year. It focused on new affordable iPhone, an update to the iPad Air, and its latest, most powerful Mac chip, which will make its debut in the Mac Studio computer. So here are some of the highlights from the event. First of all, they're announcing a low-budget iPhone called the iPhone SE. It's smaller, and less expensive. And they're using this phone to bring in new users that have a lower budget. So basically what they're doing is they're saying, hey, if you're still not an iPhone user, you could be able to come into this at $429. You can come into this and maybe we'll make you an iPhone user and then maybe you'll upgrade. Another big announcement was the iPhone 13 will now be available in green. Yes, it will be available in green. Now, there's a green joke in there somewhere, but I'm going to let you decide which joke you want and insert it here. All right, I heard you all laugh at the joke you made. That's great. Apple also introduced the first new Mac model in years with the Mac Studio, which is a displayless desktop computer. And basically, it's cube-shaped. It has ports in the front, an SD card in the front. It's kind of like a Mac Mini, but bigger, right? So this sounds like, basically, it's a great machine for professionals. I often wonder, by the way, how much better it can get. But if you're watching this program online, I bet you didn't know that I'm actually not here. That's right, I am a computer graphic of myself. You don't really see me, you actually see a computer graphic of me. It's like the Star Wars series on Disney Plus. I'm really sleeping in bed right now, and this amazing studio you see behind me is really empty. I don't know, did my guys do a good job with the Apple computer that I bought them? Did they make me look pretty good? Here's my hands, right? Here's my face, right? They even made my bald head pretty good too, right? So, all right. Anyway, getting back to Apple, they also introduced a new iPad Air, and of course, that was introduced right after I ordered the old one, and I haven't received it yet. Anyway, this iPad will have the new M1 chip, and it should be a little bit faster. When Apple introduces new products, the stock often drops temporarily, but then builds momentum, so look for the stock to rise over the next few weeks. We are also turning the corner on the upcoming earnings season, so this should be a boost to the stock. So Michael says, I look 10 years younger. Younger than what? All right, let's talk about Bitcoin and regulations. So many of you know that I'm not really a big fan of Bitcoin and crypto, but please don't misunderstand me. I do believe that many have made millions and some have made billions on crypto. However, I kind of see it as the boat that left and I missed it. That doesn't mean you can't have good returns on your crypto. Returns of 5 or 10% in short periods of time, a week, a month, are awesome returns. But the hoodlers are the ones who are kind of missing out on the real profits. So the hoodlers, which stands for hold on for dear life, are holding on to it forever, expecting the multi-thousand point returns that the people in the past had. Remember, even if Bitcoin goes to 100,000 and you buy it here at around 40,000, you're going to make about 110%. Look, it's not a bad return, but if you jump in and out every time it goes below 35,000 and then sell it at 45,000, you're going to make a really nice return, and you're going to have the opportunity to do it again and again and again. It's kind of like the way I teach people to trade stock options. So, by the way, so at Investor Schooling, that's what we do. So come by Investor Schooling, I'll teach you. Anyway, Bitcoin and other crypto just came under the microscope of the government, and Biden is expected to make an announcement of an executive order on cryptocurrency. The order can be anything from how crypto is taxed to how to prevent sending it to Russia. It may even be that the United States is issuing a stable coin, which is basically a coin that mimics the U.S. dollar. Look, we all know that Democrats are all about getting their greedy hands in the way of your business. So my guess is that this executive order is going to have a negative effect on the price of crypto, not a positive one. The weird part is that Bitcoin jumped 8% overnight as the world learned that an executive order was being signed by Biden. Like, I'm looking forward to finding out what it is and what the news are, but if a Democrat signs an executive order about anything, it can't be good. So I'd be careful. All right, guys, we'll see you in just a couple of minutes after this.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. All right, so far, of course, we've been discussing the futures, and right now the Dow is really nice. It's up 491 points. The S&P is up 66, and the NASDAQ is up 261. We talked about the fact that Putin is a bully, and somebody just punched him in the face, and it might actually slow this guy down. We talked about the fact that McDonald's is closing, along with 300 other companies, stop doing business in Russia, and we talked about some of the companies that are still doing business in Russia. You might want to look those up and decide what you want to do about it. We talked about the new Apple products and the fact that I'm just a computer graphic, I'm not real. And we talked about Bitcoin regulations. We will find out what Biden has in store for Bitcoin. Of course, coming up is today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that share button yet? Did you hit that like button yet? Let everyone know what great stock plays are coming by sharing this information. And you could share it on your page or on groups that you feel will benefit from great stock plays. And you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Hey, real quick, I just want to mention my book. So if you haven't ordered my book yet, go to BarnesandNoble.com or anywhere else books are sold and order Money Hacks and pre-order that right now. And of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the stock market. All right, let's talk about what is going on for the day. Hey, put my picture back up. I can't see myself. Oh, there I am. I was watching at home while I was sleeping and I didn't see myself. All right, great tips for the day. Let's talk about this. Flat out. Is it over yet? Is the market craziness over yet? It just might be. The market is looking pretty good this morning, but is the pain past us? Well, it may very well be. If you follow me, I've been saying we are in what I call the dead zone, and the worst dead zone period is the period between February 15th and March 15th. If my theory holds, we are at the end of it, and stocks should start moving up. The war is now absorbed into the market, and not much can change unless the bully in Russia decides to take it to a level that's unimaginable to most of the world. The mask mandates, the foolish mask mandates, will end in 9 days and counting. And that will be a boost in travel stocks as people like me start to travel again. By the way, I missed 2 great trips this week because of that idiot. By the way, has anyone seen or heard of Dr. Fauci? Did they off this guy yet? Or do they just not need his science any longer to control people now that we have a real war instead of a war against the common cold? Anyway, if you were buying the travel stocks the past 3 days, you're going to do really, really well. But I'll bet you are scared. Yeah, I am too. Apple and Meta will also bounce back soon, and the oil companies are probably at their peak. And if you're up, I suggest moving away from them at this time. So the defense stocks may continue to go up. I got to admit, I missed out on this play because I truly didn't believe the war would even last this long. But with Poland offering Ukraine planes, if the U.S. replaces them, then plane builders and missile builder defense stocks will continue up for a while. You may want to look at Northrop Grumman, that is, Lockheed Martin, and General Dynamics for a play in this sector. All right, a real quick look at the futures. Finally, it's over 500. Dow's over 500. The S&P is up 70, and the Nasdaq is up 280. Come on now, be a good day. Hey, don't forget to go to 4MMW and sign up for our Freedom and Finances event, and you're going to see Doug Mastriano. I'm telling you, Doug's story will mesmerize you. He's a leading contender for governor in Pennsylvania. And wouldn't it be nice to know that you shook the governor's hand and took a picture of him when he gets voted in? I'm telling you, go to 4MMW and it's going to sell out fast. We're going to be talking about money. We're going to be talking about finances. We're going to be talking about everything that will make your life better. 4mmw.com. All right, let's talk about crypto. As I said earlier, Bitcoin is up about 9% right now on the news of the executive order that Biden will be signing. Crazy, right? It's also going to be bringing Ethereum up to about 2,700. I'm going to try to stay out of this round, and I'll revisit it if it goes below 35,000. I think it's a good play below 35,000 if you want to make a quick hit on it. So gold is actually moving up. Gold is above 2,000. Although I expect a little bit of a drop today as the market takes off. Silver is above 26. And I'm looking forward to it going to above 30 in this coming year. Trust me, it'll be above 30 in the coming year. All right, Treasury bond. The Treasury bond is actually inching up again, and it appears that Wall Street has accepted this range. The 225% range is going to create a temporary problem when it happens, and I expect that probably end of March or April, and it'll also create a great buying opportunity. So if you see the Treasury bond go to 2.25, buy. Hey, I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support. And if you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let us know. You can leave comments on the WWDB fan page and look for us online. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now. I'm also the CEO of Investor Schooling. Don't forget, of course, to sign up for investorschooling.com. And also, don't forget to order my book. And also, hey, listen, I want to mention once again, of course, from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed on this show. The opinions discussed on this show is solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I want to find out all about how much money you made today, because you are going to have a profitable day.